Hi everybody, this is Tracy from Life in the Beauty Lane. I am at a commission right now due to the pandemic, but to kind of leeway my time until things get back up to normal, I just really wanted to show you what was in my kit, and hopefully when everything passes and the storm blows by, that we can still be in business. We have lost a lot of business. Brides are postponing. I feel so bad for them. We're trying to accommodate them as much as possible with new dates, whether they're going into 2021 or later in the 20 year. So I am just going to show you what is in my kit, why I bring it, what I use everything for, and hopefully you'll remember me the next time you want to book a service. This is my shanty case. It comes in two parts, a top and a bottom. I just got this recently to kind of streamline everything that I have to do in the order that I have to do it. So we'll start off with the top and then we'll go down to the bottom, and we'll see. Let me show you what I have in store. Alright, so this is my Shanty Small Kit. It has everything I need really to prep the skin and body when I go to provide application services to my clients. So I have my tag Life in the Beauty Lane so it doesn't get mixed up with any other maybe makeup artists that are doing runway or shows. So I'm going to show you right now what I had inside. Oh, clips on the side. They really do a really good job, the Shanty case, on making sure that everything is secure. I never have a problem with anything really losing touch or moving out of place. All right. So this top part, this top part right now I have empty. I haven't really used anything for it. It is Velcro, so it can come off. And right here I have all my prep and prime stuff that I use to really go through and prep the client's skin for makeup application. I'll zoom you a little bit closer. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. So this is what I have in the first container. The first thing that I really like to use is the simple Micellar cleansing water. Now this I use on every client. It is to get the dirt and oil off their skin in order for me to go ahead and prep for what I need and what I need to put on the skin. Of course, in here I have my water, my brush solution if I need to clean brushes on the go, alcohol to sterilize. And I also have Beauty So Clean. This is a cosmetic sanitizer mist. I'm really high on sanitizing all my products when in between clients. I really have seen a lot in the industry where people don't do this and it really ends up in catastrophe. I do have a pair of scissors, some tape, of course my trusty hand sanitizer, which is almost empty. This I always keep around, and if there's no sink around, I always use this before touching any clients. And then after I have disinfected the skin, I like to go in with a couple different items, and I hold a couple different items because each skin is different. I have really dry skin, and then I have skin that is normal. I have skin that is oily. So I like to keep a range of products in here. Let's see if I can move you up a little bit. There you go. So I could be in frame. All right, let me crisscross applesauce because this is gonna take a minute. Okay. All right. So if I have somebody that has normal skin, I will go in with my Dr. Lily Fan Probiotic Skin Cream. This stuff I love. I use it on myself. This jar I believe is almost empty. This is their eye cream, and what it really does is it really freezes the eye and fills in all those imperfections or those lines. And so when you're doing makeup application, especially with older clientele underneath the eyes, this really takes it, fills it in, lifts it. And I don't have a lot of eye creases when I go to put on maybe concealer or powder over the concealer, so they're not so shiny. This is another eye cream. This is their Defying Age Serum. Ooh. So I take this, I put this on, and I put this on. And then after I'm done with these two, and this is for normal skin, maybe a little creepiness around the eyes, I go ahead with the Lilifan Probiotic Recovery Cream. This is the mini size, so you can get it in the big size. It's just too big to travel around in my kit because I do have a lot of stuff crammed into this kit that I use on a daily basis, depending on what client I'm going into. And I necessarily don't know, and I can't ask, you know, what type of skin do you have, or maybe they just don't know. So I keep this stuff in here. And I want to say, maybe I want to say 75% of the clients I go ahead and I use this, which is I believe a high number of clients, and they feel it. It's cooling on the skin. You feel it tightening the spots that need to be tightened, and I really love that about this. So Dr. Lilifan does have a website. If you go on Dr. Lilifan, you can purchase these individually. It will save your skin. I have been using it for a couple of years now. I am 37. I love it. I noticed that the bags or the creases under my eyes have really gone away. And yeah, I really love it. I really recommend it to anybody that really has the crepiness around the skin, or maybe that is just getting into skincare. I would really recommend the Dr. Lilifan system. It works for me, it works for my clients. It is great. All right, let's put all this away. And obviously you want to have the alcohol in your system because you want to be able to sanitize your palettes, you want to be able to sanitize your brushes, you want to be able to, if you have multiple clients, let's say you're on a wedding booking and you have 6 bridesmaids, you know, I don't use the same brushes on the 6 bridesmaids. I have to clean them in between if I'm going to use them. So I have alcohol here. Again, I have the Cinema Secrets makeup brushes. I have it in the pump, which works really good. It sanitizes them and it dries super quick. So I don't have any lead time when using that. And of course I have water, because you're always going to need water, whether you're in a place that doesn't have a lot of water, or you have a place where you can't run to the bathroom and wet your sponges. This water is really comes in handy when you need to maybe puff up that beauty blender. So that is that side. So when we come over to this side, let's move you down a little bit. There we go. When we come over to this side, we have everything that I have really to prep the skin before makeup. So I have, let's see, to prep the skin before makeup, I always carry around eye drops. Now the eye drops are really great, especially with a bride that's been crying a lot. Her eyes are really red. You have allergy season, and anybody, you know, you can take a Zyrtec before your wedding day, but you know, I really find that this Bausch & Lomb Lumify, it makes the whites of your eyes whiter. Whether you have, again, seasonal allergies, or you have something stuck in your eye, this has actually saved me a couple times. I don't use it on every shoot, but it definitely makes the eye brighter. So when the camera picks up the light of the eye, it looks more open, it looks more awake. This is a little trick that I like to use, and I always keep it in my system. I gotta keep moving you. I'm so sorry. Okay. So this is to prep. So in order to prep the skin, I have a number of different things that I really enjoy. So MAC Prep and Prime, I'm a huge MAC fan. This is a beautiful primer to use over the skin. I have the Emberlice, which is another phenomenal product. If you have if you have a client with really dry skin and they need that extra moisture and that extra plumpness, this is really what's going to give it to them. This is probably my third or fourth container of the Ember Release. I really wish they put it in a different container. The outside is metal, so when I get to that very last end and I'm actually pinching or folding the side, sometimes it gets a little breaker, a little fissure, so sometimes I have to watch out to make sure I don't cut my hands. In order to prep the skin, let's see, so prepping the skin before makeup, I always use my Milk Hydro. This is a grip primer, so if the skin is a little, before I put any of this on, a little silky, a little soft, it doesn't, looks like that the makeup's gonna slip right off the skin. This I love. It also kind of goes into the pores to make everything look seamless and flawless. I love it. Now again, if you have regular skin, this is another great one. This is the Benefit Pore Fessional Pore Primer. It really gets a hold of those pop marks. If you have acne scarring, if you have large pores on your nose, this really takes care of it. It fills it in. It's non-comedogenic. I believe it's non-comedogenic. But I love this. I love this. I use this probably on 80 to 90% of my clientele. The MAC Fast Response Under Eye Cream, I always use underneath the eye. This lays beautifully under makeup, and it may feel a little greasy at first, but when you put it on and you tap it on and it sinks into the skin, it really gives that layer of smoothness, so you don't have the crepiness or the wrinkles or anything really popping through, or if powder or foundation settles around the area. This is really a lifesaver. This I love very much. Now, going along with the Professional, I also have the No Pore Blum Primer. It smooths and pore covering. It's a top secret for the perfect makeup. So if I'm not to use this, the Professional, I'll go ahead and I'll use this. Sometimes, you know, it really depends on what I grab. It really depends on the client. It really depends on the weather that day. So this, I feel like it's a little slippier. Sometimes I feel like depending on what makeup I put this on, it ends up slipping or streaking. So that's why I have both of them in my kit. What else do I have? I have the MAC Cleanse Off Oil. That really shouldn't be here. It should be in my other kit. What else do I have? I have the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas. I don't use the big one because it doesn't fit into my kit, but I will use the small one. It is almost empty. But for those brides, bridesmaids, mother of the brides that have real problem or real indentations on their skin, I turn around and I use this, and I can use it with other primers too, and it just gives the skin a nice soft finish so that the makeup can go on top of it and you really don't see a lot of definition, especially in shadows or definitely in picture taking. And then this is the Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream. So if I wasn't going to use the Emberless, which I really like, this is new. I just kind of found this in about 6 months ago, where I received a sample in the mail from the company. And this Magic Cream, it doesn't have a lot of smell, but this just hydrates, it plumps, it's like a vitamin for the skin. It just lifts everything up and makes everything luminous. Makeup goes on top of it perfectly. Sometimes when I use this, I don't necessarily have to use a primer. It's all depending on the client's skin. All right, now to get to this side, this I do use beforehand, before I do a lot of makeup. So this is the Caudalie. This is the Beauty Elixir, and I spray this on everybody's face because it just gives the face a little bit of plump, a little bit of hydration. So it gives it a smoothing, glowing complexion. It's for all skin types. I'm almost out of it. I use this on everybody. I love, love, love it. If you don't want to, it's a pretty high retail value. So if you don't want to use this or want to use something comparable, let's say Urban Decay has it's in a green bottle. It's a fix that has vitamin B12 in it. You spray it all over the skin before you have makeup, and that really deals with prepping the skin, lifting it up, waking it up, and for makeup application. So there we go. These two products I use after the fact. You gotta shake this one up. So this is the this has been in my kit for a while. This is the Prep and Prime pink. It gives off pink reflexes when you spray it on the face, and when the face is a little dull, or maybe you put a little too much powder on, this really helps to give it a nice healthy glow. It's not like a highlight glow, but a nice healthy glow. And yeah, I love this. Otherwise, I use the Fix Plus Matte. Sometimes when you are in 90-degree days, we are coming on summer, I will use the matte. This is also the D-Slick, so it controls any oil, especially when you're going into maybe southern weddings where it's a lot more humid, or even New York where I am. You know, some days can be extremely humid, and this makeup setting spray does have oil control. This, I really like the, well, I like the MAC Prep and Prime. I like the original. I have the original. And yeah, I really like it. This also has oil control or shine control. That way when you're taking pictures, you know, you're not going to get the flashback of the oil or excess oil on the skin. So it's all in dealing with that. All right, so that is my first tier. Now what happens, especially with this Shanty makeup kit, is this actually pulls out. So I'm gonna pull this out right now. I love how everything is compact. See, this comes out, and you have, let me see if I can, there we go. So this comes out, let me move out of the way. And we have an internal section. So in this internal section, I keep my disposables. This is the easiest way that I found that I can keep my disposables. So let me open this up for you here. So I'll start at the bottom. So with any makeup application or any job that I go on, this is the first thing that I pull out, because this has everything I need. Obviously, if I'm going to use the micellar water, I need the cotton rounds. If I'm going to use anything like that, or try to get product out with the spatulas, that is great. The first thing that I always do is use the Tatcha. This is really expensive, but it works, man. It works so well. This is the Kiss You Lip Mask, and it's a Japanese peach seed jelly. And this is the first thing that after cleansing the skin, this is the first thing that I put on my clients, because I want their lips to be nice and plump and hydrated. By the time that I get to the point where I need to line the lips, use some lipstick, you know, I tend not to use matte lipstick when I'm doing special occasion makeup. Sometimes it is requested, and it is perfectly fine, but this definitely helps to smooth out the wrinkles, plump up the lines, really give that pout just a beautiful shape. So as you can see, it's almost empty. So what I do is I take one of these and I dip it in once. And you only want to dip it in once because you don't want cross-contamination. And you put it on your lips. And I put it on my lips liberally. And then I have a garbage bin that I'll show you on the other pack, and I end up tossing this out. You never want to reuse disposables. Disposables are disposable for a reason. And then I close this up, and I put it back in. The other thing that I have in here is a lip scrub. It's called Beauty for Real. And if somebody comes in with really, really dry lips, or they just got off of vacation, or, you know, the cycle in which their lips are peeling are maybe a little too harsh for maybe the tattoo to really get in there. So I take this and I use this lip scrub, and it has a pretty creamy texture, but it also has botanical oils in it, so it will smooth as the roughness goes through. And then once that is done, I take a cotton pad and I just wipe it off. And then I go through with the Tatcha, and we're all set. We're all prepped for lips. All right, so next compartment I have are the spoolies. Now these will be your best friend. So I use these for eyebrows, I use these for eyelashes, upper eyelashes, lower eyelashes. Even if I get maybe mascara on a piece of skin, I can always take this and just twirl it and rub it off, and it will take the mascara off the skin without really interrupting the base of makeup that I've been working on. So these are really, really handy. I'm not gonna put that back in there because it's contaminated. These I love. So these are little spatulas. So even if you don't have the lip wands here, I can always open this up. I can always dip this in, put this on the lips. This also works really well when you're mixing your foundations together. I like to get as perfect as a base as I can. So even though I have a lot of foundations, you know, there are clients that won't fall into a foundation category that I have. So this I mix, and I can just put it on the skin. Okay, that is garbage now. All right, and then we get, oh, then I gotta stretch out my foot. Ugh, and get some coffee. Hold on, it's coffee time. All right, and these come in super handy. If you haven't seen these, you can order them on Amazon. They are little mini lip gloss holders. These are mini lip gloss pots. They're empty, they're sterilized. So what I end up doing, especially for the brides or the bridesmaids, you're not gonna be there unless they hire you to be there to touch up during pictures, or maybe halfway through the day, or maybe after they cut their cake and they go to the bathroom and they don't have the lip color. So what I end up doing as an extra service, well, I do it for every service, but this is something extra that I do. I take this and I actually go into the bullets of the lipstick that I use, or the palette of the lipstick that I use, and I scoop some out. I don't put the little stopper on, which does come with these, and I put the little guy together, and then the bride has the same lip color all day. So whether she's kissing people, kissing her husband, her wife, it doesn't matter, you still have lipstick. I do the same thing with the bridesmaids too. I used to use the pots, but I found that if you dipped your finger in the pot, it just really wasn't really economically, and you get bacteria in it. So I did change over to the mini lips. I will leave those in the description. I really love those. I love when the bride comes up to me and says later in the day, thank you so much. Yeah, I was able to touch up my lips, and you know, you want the bride to be looking great all day. So I think this is just an extra service that you can provide. It doesn't cost that much money, and the bride really appreciates you for it. So we're going over here with my scissors, my adhesive, and my glitter glue. So glitter glue I don't use that often unless I'm working on, like, a couple years I've been working on underprivileged schools for their plays. I've done Beauty and the Beast. Oh my gosh, what else did I do? I did another one, and I found the glitter glue came really in handy because it was more of performance makeup. I still keep it in my kit just in case there's something or something wants a little bit of shimmer in their day-to-day or in their beauty arsenal. I do carry some scissors, and these work great for eyelashes. So if you have to clip the eyelashes to fit the eye, I always keep scissors in here. And then I keep 3 different lash glues in here. This one is a strip lash adhesive with biotin and blueberry. It's latex free. This one's from Lash Couture. This one I believe came in a package of lashes that I just recently bought. And then these are my favorite. These are from Lily Lashes. I find that Lily Lashes has the best adhesive when it comes to sticking the eyelashes on and making them stay on all day. I have clear, I have black, depending on if we do maybe a winged liner, I will use the black. And then if we don't use a winged liner, we want something a little more natural, I will use the clear. I don't find that these lift up on the inner corners all day. I have tested it, I have loved it, and yeah, I keep these in my kit as well. So yeah, this is my disposables and my lash glue. So we'll take this out, we'll put this aside, and here comes the fun stuff. Not the fun stuff, but more stuff. So let's see if I can get you a little higher. Let's see. All right. Okay, because I'm hunching over here. This is my belt. So if I open this up, especially if I'm working on multiple clients at the same time, or if I'm working on stage performance and I can't necessarily, go back to the beauty room to really touch them up when they come off the stage, I can touch them up right then and there, and it's not a problem. So this is my carry pack. It has a lot of sections, so whatever I need, if I need powder, if I need lashes, if I need lash glue, it has all these different compartments. I keep my business cards in here also, because half the time I wear this around town. If I'm going to a client's house, it's just easier for me to put it on. And then I also have my lip balms in here that I have made, and I'll talk about these in a little bit. Otherwise, what this is really great for is if I'm blow drying somebody's hair, I could actually put the blow dryer in this compartment, section off the hair, and then keep blow drying. So I really wish they made a thermal one, so when I'm curling somebody's hair, I can actually put the curling iron in here without the fibers melting. So I think that is something that really should be on the market. If anybody is listening, I think that would be a really, really, really smart idea, especially for makeup artists or hair artists that have to get things done quick, or they have multiple clients that they have to do. This I wear around my waist. I feel like Batman because I have all my tools, and you blow dry somebody's hair and then you can just put it in your holster. So I feel like I'm on the Wild Wild West. You bring out the holster and there's your gun, and you can keep going. Same thing with curling irons. You can curl somebody's hair. I usually leave the ends out. You curl somebody's hair, and in order to get the next section, I usually have to put the curling iron down. So to get the next section, I can get the next section, take the curling iron from a standardized place that I get it, roll it. And it would be really, really nice and really inventive if somebody would come up with a heat protectant pocket in one of these things that you wear around your waist. It really would be life-saving. Call me. I would love to develop it with you. But here we go. All right. So I always carry around an extra beauty blender. I have beauty blenders in the big box, but I always carry an extra one around. This is my Embryolisse. All right, and then we have lashes. I carry around a ton of lashes because I don't necessarily always know what I'm going through or going to. Mother of the brides are different than bridesmaids. Stage performances are different than your average bride. So I keep a lot in here, and I'll show you my favorites. So in here, I also carry bobby pins. Bobby pins, I have found that I use them like every other job. I find somebody that has either an outfit, a dress that's missing beads, or maybe in a play, something's falling off. I always have bobby pins. Always have bobby pins. It's not makeup related, but you know what? If you have it and you can save the day, save the day. Get your bobby pins out. All right, so as far as lashes go, I always carry the Ardell, the Lash Trios. I also do the double up. And I like these maybe if somebody's not used to wearing lashes, but you want that extra wing. These are a really great thing to have in your stash. My favorite, or well, Demi Wispies too from Ardell. I really like those. They're nice and fluffy. They go on, they fit the eye shape. Haven't had a problem with them. The other ones, the bulks of them that I use are red cherry lashes. I really like the red cherry lashes by the way that the bands are practically invisible. I don't know if you can see, but the bands are practically invisible, so they're not black. So when I go ahead and I use either a black or a clear glue, I find that they obviously they stick, but you don't see the residue, so you just see the lashes. So I really like, and I carry a lot of different kinds. We have the really full kinds, Chakra, we have Ivy, we have Sage, we have Demi Wispies. That's Ivy, that's Sage, that's Ivy. I carry just regular wispies, Ivy Wispy, and these are Demi Wispies. I really like the Demi Wispies for small eyes. I think they work phenomenal. Ardell makes the Demi Wispies, and they're almost my favorite. I'll show you my favorite. My favorite, and you can get them on Amazon, are these. These are 3 pieces, 3 fashion eyelashes. Glam, Volume, and Sexy. They are all the same eyelashes. I'm wearing them right now. I absolutely love them. They're not as long, but they're thick and fluffy, and it just makes your eye look very prominent. I always carry 2 of these around. Like I said, I'm wearing the first ones today, and they look pretty good. They don't look like fake eyelashes, which I really enjoy. So these you can get on Amazon. I'll link them below. These are one of my favorites, and even if I have to cut them down to suit a client, I will cut them down and suit a client because I really do enjoy these. 50% of the time I have, depending, it's really depending on the age. If I have a younger client that is really big into beauty and really watches the beauty tutorials online, I will have them pick out their own lashes. And they know their face, they know what they like, they know what they want to look like, and I don't have a problem with that. But for people that really don't know, I definitely go with those 3 pieces. I cut them down to fit their face. I really like the strip lashes. And then for those maybe older clients, I'll just use the Ardell Lash Trios or the Ardell Double Up, and I'll use the black, oh my gosh, I'll use the black glue with them just so it bonds into their lashes and it bonds into the mascara that I put on there. All right, moving on. This is going to be a really long video. Okay, quickly. Something that I always keep in my bag: coloring books and coloring crayons. I have never been to a wedding where I haven't had to pull this out. So I get these at the dollar store. I stock up on them. Flower girl, groomsmen, some mothers or some kids, you know, they have people come into the bridal suite. I always have this. It keeps them entertained. It has stickers inside. As long as the stickers don't, you know, stay on the package, completely fine with me. But I always carry this. It is a savior. It's something that you don't necessarily have to carry in your kit, but it's something that I love. I pull them out. The kids are happy. The parents are happy. It makes my job a lot easier. All right, and then for those who want a really, really strict wing or a really long wing, I always carry shadow shields. If somebody wants a really heavy smoky eye, I will do the eyes first. I am one to do the base first and then the eye, but these I always keep in here because if I'm gonna do a really heavy smoky eye, these are my friends. All right, and then we get into my palettes. All right, I'll do my normal palettes and then I'll show you what I bring extra. So I have 3 MAC palettes here that I designed them myself due to the colors that I use the most. So this is the MAC Cool palette. It is the Cool Neutral palette. I don't know if they still sell this, but I do usually use this on occasion. I don't find that these shadow formulas are comparable to the individual shadows from MAC, but I really haven't gotten an answer from MAC from that. But I do use, you know, the shimmer shades are really nice, but they, you know, sometimes they don't really show up. I do keep it in here because sometimes I'll go back and forth. This is one of my MAC palettes. So I get the double-sided, and then it flips from a little plastic retainer. This is my more colorful one. I do this for a little bit of more darker skin tones. So you have the peaches, you have the oranges, you have the neutrals, you have the pinks, and then on the other side we have some purples, some blues, some greens. These are my extra whites or extra vanillas, which you will see in my other palette. But yeah, I love this palette, especially when you need a little color or need a little pop on maybe somebody with colored skin. This is the way to go. This is my ride or die. This is what I use 99% of the time, and it is neutral. So when I'm going on set, bride, you know, you want your bride to look like your bride. My philosophy is that you want yourself to look like yourself, but a little bit better, a little bit more polished, a little bit more refined. So this is my favorite. This is what I pull out 90% of the time. It has the white, it has the vanilla, which is almost done. I've hit pan. But a lot of these colors I can use to mimic the skin tone and a little bit of depth for the clients that I'm going for. So this is my baby. A couple more that I tend to keep on hand. So Tattoo Whisperer came out, and I normally don't do influencers palettes, but this one I gotta say is one of the best that I have tried, and believe me, I have tried a lot of them. So this is their, what is this? I don't know what this is. This is their 15 times neutral, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, I don't know what this is. But this palette, I really enjoy. It has all the basic colors that you need, and then if you need a pop of sparkle, these are amazing. Amazing. And you put them on with your fingers. You don't want to put them on with brushes, but I find the natural shades down here, and then you get up to a little glitter and maybe a little more glitter or a little satin, and then you have the glitter. I really like this. I use this a lot around Halloween only because a lot of people want that glitter, and This glitter I have found to be so well made and well put, and I put it on and it doesn't budge, whereas you have a lot of fallout with a lot of glitter. And yeah, I really like this palette. Another one that I have that I'm not crazy about, but I do love a couple colors in here, is the Fenty Beauty, the Moroccan Spice palette. I got this in a beauty box, and as you can see, it's used a little bit. I don't like the colors down here, but these colors up here, the whites, the gold, or I should say the champagne, the gold, I really like them. I use them as a topper. If something really isn't coming across as vibrant as I would like, I use them as a topper, and it really gives it that extra that I'm looking for. So I do keep that. Now for men, I will go ahead and use my MAC palette because it has a lot of natural tones in it, but I do have this Dior, and this is the 5 colors. I don't know what the hell it is, but it is the it has almost like a light skin tone, a brown, a darker brown, a pink, and a white. And I really like to use this on males when I'm photographing them, just for extra dimension or just to smooth out their skin. This has been really great. I will use this on my days off when I just need a little something. And yeah, I keep it in a little pouch because, I don't know, Dior gives you the pouch, so you just kind of do it. And that is it for my bottom here. Try to put everything back away the way it came, so when I'm in a rush or rushing, I kind of know where everything is. Pop that there. Come on, beauty blender. Okay, pop that there, and we can close this, and then we can go into part 2. All right, welcome back everybody. So I'm gonna go through right now with you my Shanty big case. It is also labeled with Life in the Beauty Lane, so we don't get mixed up when we go to events. And this is the bottom of the case that I just showed you. So they are stackable. I like that they clip. So this will clip to the top, so everything stays together. It is on wheels, it's on back wheels, so you kind of tip it backwards and then it rolls for you. I haven't had a problem with it. The weight of it is super heavy, so I haven't had anything really tip over to the side or anything like that. Now I must mention that I haven't really flown with this kit, so I'm really waiting to see how this is really going to perform in an airport. But until then, because I'm just working locally in the Hudson Valley, or wherever somebody hires me, excuse me, this is my main bread and butter. So this carries all the makeup that I have, and let's go through it and see what we have. So again, this has a handle on the top. It does have clips on the side, and we're gonna go right into it. Now, if you thought the other case had a lot of makeup in it, this has a ton more. Oh, I must also mention that this does come up, so you can roll it back and forth, which I really enjoyed. Okay, so you can't see it, so let me move. All right, let's see. There we go. Okay. So this also has a Velcro top to it. So what I have actually done is I have actually put my hair clips. So when you're doing a lot of makeup, you know, you want, and somebody's doing hair, you really want to be able to clip the hair back without ruining the progress or the curl that maybe a hairdresser is doing on the client. So I keep these here because they are quite handy. And if you lift this up, this is where I keep all of my lip pencils. I have a feeling this was supposed to be used for brushes, but because I have my portfolio that I'll show you in a minute, this really helps me see all the colors that I have. It lets me pick out the colors that I need. My favorite color, my favorite color would have to be this one, and this one is what I use the most. So this one is Soar. It is the MAC lip pencil. This one is Whirl. It's also a MAC lip pencil. And this one is the Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm sure you've heard a lot about it. It is just absolutely gorgeous on the hand. It glides, so you don't have a lot of skip when you're going around the lips. But if you do prime the lips with the Tatcha lip jelly, you normally wouldn't have a problem with that. So these are the colors that I love. You can see I'm getting to the end of them. Time to purchase some new ones. But I do like this setup because I can see everything, and for me, seeing is really key for me. I want to be able to see everything that I have. I want to be able to know where everything is. It makes my application time lower because I want to get everybody in and out within 30 to 40 minutes. So this is what I normally do. So every morning before a client, I go ahead and I clean my beauty blenders. I do use a lot of brushes. I just find that sometimes when the brushes leave streaks, or I'm using a specific foundation that really doesn't like brushes, I will go ahead, I will wash them. My favorite are the Real Techniques and the Juno. I will pack 3 or 4 more than I actually need that day because I am a clumsy person. I end up dropping them, and then when you drop a beauty blender, you necessarily can't use it anymore. It's not sterile. So I go ahead and I make sure I have a baggie called Clean, and we'll set that aside. This is my brush portfolio. I've tried a lot of brush portfolios. This seems to be my favorite one. This is from Rowan, R-O-W-N-Y-E-O-N. Doesn't really close anymore because I have a lot of brushes in here. But this, if I lift this up, is my brush portfolio. Obviously, I have favorite brushes in here, but I coordinate them due to what I use them for. I have my Artiste brush here, which is normally not what I use for clients. I do use it on myself. I tend to like it. I have a lot of MAC in here. I have a lot of Lexi. I have a lot of Real Techniques. But as we get over to the bigger brushes, what I do use is a lot of the 217 Max. I do love the Real Techniques, the blendable shadow brush, and I think the eyes are the window to the soul. So if I'm going to do anybody's makeup, I want their eyes to pop, and I want them to radiate, and I want them to just be clean and clear and crisp and no harsh lines. So I do invest a lot in brushes. This is one of my concealer brushes, and then I have a lot over here of detailed brushes. So whether I'm doing eyeliner, liquid eyeliner, lip liner, if I'm padding color, so we have the flat brushes here, so if I'm padding on color on the eyelid, I can actually get in there. So this is my brush portfolio. I also have some clips down here to push the hair back, and I also keep a sanitized plucker. There we go. So these are all my brushes. My brushes, it's always growing because I always find something that I can use for something, but I'm getting into the notion now that I use a brush for more than one thing. So I definitely don't necessarily need a brush just for blush. I can use other brushes for that maybe not, that's not required for brush. My favorite contour brush is this one. This is from Real Techniques. I don't know, I love their brushes, even though I have a budget, you know, that, you know, can carry more than Real Techniques. If you're starting out with makeup, it's a really good company to start off with. So I have Real Techniques, I have a bunch. Sigma, Real Techniques, the Blue Edition, MAC, lots and lots of MAC, lots of Luxie. So these are my brushes, and I carry a lot of brushes because when you're going to, let's say you're going to a wedding and there's a bride, and then there's 8 bridesmaids, and then there's a mother of the bride, you know, if they're in a hurry, I don't have necessarily time to wash each brush. That's why I keep the Cinema Secrets in the other pack. That way, if I have a breather, I can clean the brushes that I really want to use and go from there. Let them dry, reuse them, and go from there. But I don't think I'll be getting any more brushes soon, or I really have to go through the brushes. Royal and Langnickel, that's also a phenomenal brush. And then if you even don't want to go to the brushes, you can go to the art store. So a lot of my eyeliner brushes are from art stores, and I just find that they apply gel eyeliner or maybe smudge out, maybe a shadow liner a little more effective than a brush that I may have. So we'll put those in there and flap that over. And like I said, I have to really go through these brushes because it is very difficult to close. All right, now we get into foundations. Now, I don't believe that any one makeup artist should have just one foundation. I think there are different skin tones. I think there are different skin types that you need a few, that you really need a few foundations to use by. So these are the ones, these are not all of them, but these are the ones that I use on a regular basis. So I wonder if I could tip you down. I could tip you down. Okay, so these are all my foundations. So the majority of foundations that I have are MAC. And let's pick a color. So my MAC, my Studio Fix Fluid SPF 15. Now, when you're looking for a foundation for a wedding or for a photo shoot, you do have to watch out for SPF in foundations because you don't want that flashback from the camera. I have tested this. I have found that I do not get flashback from this. I love the range of colors that MAC has come out with. These, if we're being heavily photographed, or if I'm on a shoot that's being really heavily photographed, I tend to go towards my MAC Studio Fix. I have every other color that they make. So I have NC25 and then NW25. So I have the cool and the warm. And then I jump up to NC35. So I don't have NC30. Or NC30W, just because I can turn around and I can mix and match foundations to the type of color that the client has. I've done that multiple times. I've never had a problem. The other foundations that I really enjoy are the Giorgio Armani. This is the Luminous Silk Foundation. I have it in 4 colors. I do tend to mix them to get the optimal color. This doesn't cover everything, but it evens out and balances out the skin tone, so you could still see maybe if you have a couple moles, a couple imperfections. You can always go over them with concealer. But this I love because it's nice, it's light, it's fresh, it's not overly dewy. And I really like this foundation a lot. I really like this foundation a lot. Some say that Meghan Markle wore this on her wedding day, and I turn around and I love it. I have 4 colors. I have 7.75, I have 2, I have 11, and I have 13.5. And out of those 4, I'm really able to kind of mix and match a color that I need for a clientele. The other ones that I have, which I absolutely love, so if you have somebody that doesn't really have any blemishes on your skin, that doesn't need a heavy makeup, that is still being photographed, I love the MAC Studio, the Face and Body. This is amazing. You don't need a lot of it. You apply this with your fingers. I found that the best way to apply this because it sets immediately. So when you're going on the skin and you put some on the back of your hand, or you mix the colors that you need to mix and you put it on the skin, and I use my fingers are sanitized, and I put it over the skin, and as you rub it in, you can feel it set. Now this is sweat proof. And waterproof. You can use it on the face and body, so if you have legs, shoulders, it will not cover tattoos. You have to get Dermacol for that. But it just gives everything a nice radiance, and it looks like you're not wearing any foundation at all. I don't find it to crease. I do love this, and I will always continue to use this. I have 4 shades. I have mostly neutral shades. I have N7, C4, N2, and C7. And I find that I use the N2 a lot more. I feel like it has a very vast range of skin tones that you can use it for, and it melts into the skin and it actually takes on the color of the skin. I found that out. I don't know if other makeup artists feel the same, but I do use this a lot more with maybe a Spanish skin lady, or whether you're white or whether you're Indian. I like this just for the sheen, just for enough color that it looks like you're wearing something, but you're not. It doesn't look like you're wearing anything. All right. And here we go with the bad boys. These are the Dior Air Flash Spray Foundation Airbrushed Radiance. I just started to use those. I am in love. I only have 2 colors because I wanted to try them out. I have the 2, not the lightest colors, but I have 2N and 100. So 100 I believe is the lightest, and then 2N is a little bit neutral. I do find that the neutral does have a pretty warm base for being a neutral. So if you look at that compared to the 100, you can definitely tell the difference between the 100 and then the 2. So I tend to mix these on my skin because I'm not either 100 or 2N. Is it 2N? Yeah, 2N or 200. So I'm wondering if, I think they have a color in between these, but I'm not sure. So when I went on the hype of the Air Flash, I also went on the hype with the Dior, the Backstage Face and Body, and holy shit, this stuff is amazing. I have 2N, and I have 001 Universal, which is their primer. Let me see if I can wipe this off my hands. Now, being it is the 2N, I still feel like it is a little bit warmer on the skin. I don't feel it oxidizes that much, but it definitely does have a little bit of a change. I definitely I definitely think it has some sort of change, but it is beautiful. If you know how to use it, it is beautiful on the skin. This is not something that I would cake up. I think it's a one and done application. I find that if I cake it up, it gets a little bally. But for somebody with an insane glow, it makes your skin feel so velvet and soft and smooth. I am up in the air whether I like the Dior Face and Body better or the MAC Face and Body better. I'm just starting to try this out. I am in love with it. I am going to pick up more shades, but yeah, for a bride that really doesn't want that full caked on face, you want them to look like you. So when I do that, I'm really more leaning on the Dior Face and Body, the MAC Face and Body. I'm looking towards the Air Flash. It gives beautiful finish. It photographs beautifully. Now, if I'm on a set and I am working with somebody that's going to be all day underneath the lights, underneath harsh lights, whether it's a photo shoot, I will definitely go with the MAC Fix Plus. I will even mix a little bit so you get a little more coverage, but a little more of the dewiness. It's not science at all. It's just something that I've learned over time. Okay, let's see if I can get this off my hand. And those, oh, I cannot forget the Laura Mercier, the Tinted Moisturizer, the Illumination one. This is in N1N Bare Radiance. Absolutely gorgeous. I use it. I throw it in my kit for maybe I don't even want to say a flower girl, but I have used this on one flower girl. She was a little bit older, and it just gave her skin just this dewy. Her skin was a little bit dry, and this with a primer just gave it a dewy, monochromed, uniformed look. And then we went in with eyes and a little bit of blush, and it looked like she was wearing absolutely nothing. It was just, everything was evened out. It was just gorgeous. So what else do I have in here? I have the MAC Strobe Cream. So if I were to use the MAC Fix Plus, sometimes if I want a little bit of shine, I'll use the Strobe Cream. Not so much during the brides, because I can usually get away with that with highlights. And I also have the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. This I like. I feel it's a little yellow. So it's a little yellow. So for, my cooler, clientele, sometimes I will put this on top of a primer, just a little bit, or just in the high points of the face if they're especially dry. All right, so now you've seen my lips, you've seen my clips, and we're gonna go down to the secret parts. All right, so you have to lift this up in order to get to the secret bottom. This is my secret bottom. Now let me see if I can move you down. There you go. Sorry about that. All right, so let's see. So this is my secret bottom, and I like this for a couple reasons, especially when I am on a photo shoot or a wedding. There's not that much room for makeup artists. I can't take up a whole room. I have the Zucca bag. I had the Zucca, bags that you pull out. And I find that every time I pulled something out, there just wasn't enough room, and I was getting jumbled. I would get frustrated. I would put things in the wrong bag. Maybe people that were cleaning were maybe putting things in the wrong bag. So I found that this system was actually working for me a little better. And it has 8 drawers that go all the way down. They actually pull out for really great cleaning. I've already cleaned this kit twice since the pandemic has happened. I have gone through every single thing. I have Lysoled every single thing. So I figured I'd make this video for you guys. And it just pops in like that. So I organize these by the way that I use them. Okay, so if I have prepped the skin with my prepping, with my prep and my disposables, I come back to here and I open the drawers. So these are all my color correctors, eye bases, and concealers. So I prefer to use 2 different concealers, or I tend to gravitate towards 2 different concealers per the need of my clients. So let me show you my Charlotte Tilbury makes these amazing color correctors. So she has them in dark for my dark complexion clients, and she has them, I think I have 1 and 2. She has one lighter than this. And these are just the peachy undertones that you use maybe for under the eyes, around the mouth. It really gives a nice, for clients that have maybe discoloration on their face, this really helps before foundation to kind of, you know, brighten those areas up so it doesn't look like that you have two-toned going all over the place. All right, I have 2 paint pots, which I use pretty regularly, and I like these to set the eye. So I have Painterly and Soft Ochre, and these are the 2 that I use most. So the Soft Ochre has a yellow tone, and the Painterly has a pink tone, and it's really going to depend on the undercolor of your clients. And those are the ones that I use, and I usually just do it to brighten the eye in preparation for eyeshadow. All right, go back in. All right, now I tend to use 2 different types of foundation. This is a Rogue foundation that I found. This I actually really love for fair skin. This is I think it's one of the only drugstore products in my kit. This is the Brightener Illuminator, and this is the Instant Age Rewind. If you can find this in the drugstore, and if you are fair skinned and you use it underneath your eye, use it on your forehead, down the bridge of your nose, on your cheek, on your cupid's bow, and just kind of pat it in, either with your finger or a beauty blender after you've done foundation, it just brightens everything up. I don't find it to crease. I don't find it to oxidize. I think it's a really great product to have. However, I do turn around and I have my collection that I really love. And these are the 24-hour MAC Studio Fix concealers. I have them in a bunch of different colors. I have a background in color theory, so I really enjoy to mix the colors. I don't think you need, if you are a seasoned makeup artist, I don't think you need every single product or every single color that the company comes out with, unless it is a olive toned or a red toned. Well, that would take care of, you know, anybody with olive skin or anybody that has really a red undertone or maybe a darker skin. But I really like these light ones. There's dark ones. They have yellow tones, they have red tones. I really like these. They're really true. They do stay on the skin for 24 hours. I don't find them to crease as much. I do definitely set them. And then the other ones that the other one that I have is drugstore also. I really like this. The Pro Conceal, I haven't found anything like that, even in the MAC pots. I really like this high definition concealer. It is for green, acne scarring, if you have a little red around the nose, if you're crying. This really helps underneath foundation or concealer to help neutralize the color. The other ones that I have in here are a little bit heavier. These are the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Shape Tape Concealers. I have them in a couple colors. I have them in a couple light colors, a couple dark colors. I really like this when I need a really heavier application. This MAC is so light but so pigmented. This is very pigmented, but it is also a little heavy. So I definitely carry both of them. I will definitely mix them if I have to. But those are the concealers that I use in my kit to make sure that I have every skin tone and everybody covered. It doesn't matter who walks into the office or who walks in to the bridal suite. I want to make sure that I have everything that I need to cover every type of skin tone. All right, everybody, now we're gonna go through my setting powders. So after you're done, maybe with foundation, maybe you're done with the foundation and the concealer. Sorry, this is a long video. I move on to setting powders, and that's just the next one over. So I have I have 4 different setting powders that I use, and I have 4 different ones, and they all are different for a reason. So I'm going to start off with the MAC ones, and I have 4 of them. We have medium deep, dark, light, and darkest deep. The darkest deep looks like this. And I like these setting powders because they don't really give that much coverage to the skin. What it does is it gives it almost like an opalescent glow. If you could see my finger, it just sets it with a little bit of color, but it doesn't pack on. It just makes the skin a little more luminous while setting foundation or setting under eye. I don't grab for these this much. I have 2 others that I definitely prefer over the MAC, but I will use the MAC if somebody's doing a no makeup look and I want them to look nice and dewy but not dry, but I don't want them to have flashback. So they're always good to have, and I have them in all different colors because again, you don't know what you're walking into. My next ones that I have are the Charlotte Tilbury. Now I have another MAC medium. So I have all the colors in MAC. I do tend to use them. So the next ones I'm going to go through are the Charlotte Tilbury, and these have become a cult favorite, I think, among any makeup artist. So any makeup artist that has these, they're there for a reason. And I really like these. They give coverage to the skin. They don't look cakey. It gives an luminosity. It's a little more heavy than maybe the MAC skin finish. And I have the 3 colors here. I have dark, medium, and light. The dark I don't find to be too dark, but you don't want a lot of dark around the eye area. So this is dark. You can also use this as a bronzer too, which I find is really helpful. Number 2 is the medium, which has more of a yellow tone. And then the light is my favorite. So this gives optimal coverage without creasing, without budging. It just gives everything nice. It just gives everything a nice wash. It makes everything poreless. It sinks into the skin without making it look cakey. It's just one of my all-time favorite finds. I don't think I'll ever stop using this. The other one that I have that I like, that if I don't want any coverage or if I feel like we're going for a no makeup look, I'll definitely grab the IT Cosmetics Bye Pore pressed powder. And as you can see, I'm almost out of it. And I like this because it doesn't give any color, but it definitely blocks a lot of pores. I like this because it doesn't go too heavy on the skin. So a lot of times when you're going through, maybe if you don't want something that has color, maybe something that's translucent, this would be the bet to go. It doesn't build up, it doesn't get cakey, it just makes everything nice and smooth. I don't find that it covers the pores entirely, but it definitely gives that matte appearance. So if you're taking photographs and you don't have a lot of makeup on, it doesn't give any flashback. So those are the powders that I generally like to use. So I have one that's light, one that's a little heavier, and one that's just almost non-existent but gives the effect that you are poreless and clean if you don't have a lot of makeup on. It's just gorgeous. All right, coffee break. All right. In this container, as you can see, I go from application. So the application of foundation to oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind now, to foundation. Then we go to powder to set everything, and then we really want that powder to set. So as the powder sets, I move on to the eyes. So the eyes, I have a bunch of things, and I use these a lot of times for brows. The most erroneous thing that I really have in my brows is the sample of the Dip Brow Pomade, and I use this a lot because it has a lot of warmer tones in it that I don't necessarily carry, but if a bride needs it or a bridesmaid needs it, or I need a color combination, I have it, and I have it here, and it doesn't take up too much space. What I do generally end up using is my Brow Gal by Tanya Crooks, and I love these, and you can tell because they're small. They're getting to the end. And they have a spoolie on one end, and they have a sharpener on the other end. So it's really great for me to turn around and use these on a client, dip it in alcohol, resharpen it, and then it's good for the next client. So these are wonderful. They sharpen wonderful. They're not waxy. They're not jelly, but it just gives you a nice set. It goes on your skin, but then it sets, and I like it because then it doesn't budge. Okay, and I like this, and I can actually get this pinpoint straight if I wanted to, if somebody doesn't have a lot of brows and I really need to get in there and define what they do have, or maybe make a new shape that would complement their facial structure. I really love these. It does come on the end of the spoolie. I don't use a spoolie because I turn around and I will use a disposable spoolie if I need to, only because these really get powdery quick. But I do love these. These are my favorite products to use. Now they're both in medium brown 4, which I find works for a lot of clients because usually your eyebrows are a little bit deeper than the hair color that you have. However, if I really need to use a pomade, I go ahead and I turn around and I use my Brow by Benefits. Now, what I like to do is I like to get the smaller size, or it's the smaller size, the travel sizes. I have them in every color. I have 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4, 5, 6. The only thing that I don't like with these is I don't use them that often. So what happens is, and especially if I had the bigger ones, they end up drying out on me. I don't know if you could see that. They end up drying out on me, and you can see the formula starting to pull away. I could put a little drop of water in there and really mix it up and really use it with an angled eye brush if I really needed to. I haven't really had to, but I do keep these because there will be an off chance that I will use them, so I do keep them. Not the full size, but I definitely use the minis. Another pomade that I have that I really love, I only have one color, and that is the medium brown Super Brow 24-hour pomade by Kat Von D. I just used this the other day, so it's a little wet on the center, but as you can see, it dries out really quickly. And as a makeup artist, I try to use products to their fullest. So I want to be able to make sure that I'm using the product as much as I can, because then again, it's a waste of money for me to keep purchasing things that I'm not using that often, but I want to make sure that I do have it for those clients that definitely need it. Another item I have in here is the Goof Proof Brow Pencil from Benefit. So one end is a spoolie, which I really don't use because I use my disposable spoolies, and the other one just comes up. Now, I don't particularly like these unless somebody has a really thick brow, but I find that people with thin brows really can't get away with this. So I do like the brow pencils that are the Anastasia Beverly Hills ones that are just a point that I can really get in there and make those strokes and outline the brow so it looks natural, and then I could brush it out if I wanted to, make it a little softer. All right, I do carry around 2 setting brow powders. This one is from Vintage by Jessica Liebskin. I do like this because it has a darker a darker color on one side, but then it has the light on the other side. So if I really need to highlight above the brow or below the brow, this is a really good product to do so. I have used it a couple times. And then the other one I have is, again, by Tanya Crooks, and this is the Brow Gal powder. Now it's broken. I have used this multiple times, and I love the different shades that it has. So it has almost like a darker shade, like a camel shade, and then a lighter shade. And I really like this for maybe defining the end of the brows with this and this, and then really going to the front of the brow and really softening it up. So we put this back together, and this has been in my kit for a long time, and I do use it maybe every other client that I have, or every other weekend that I have appointments. I have I have 3 really highlighting tools that I use that I can use for in the waterline or on the brow. So the first one I have is the NYX, the Professional Makeup. Now, if I'm on set and it's a music video, or if it's something that I really need to play up the eyes, I will use this, and it's white. It's white. So when you use this in the waterline, it definitely pops. But on the naked eye, it pops, but on camera it looks a little bit softer. So then I go to the NYX, which is another one that I love, and it's, I believe, the Wonder Pencil. I am almost out of it. I have to get a new one. And this is WP01 Light and Clear, and I use this more often than not in the waterline. It is phenomenal for any skin tone, because usually the waterline of the eye is a little bit lighter than the skin tone. So this, to me, really, you see the difference between the white and the beige or the skin tone. It really helps pop those eyes without realizing that you're popping the eyes. So I can use this every day, and it just makes that, like, are you wearing makeup, or what's going on with your eyes? Your eyes look fantastic today. So I like that one as well. I can also use this above the brow if I really wanted to, if I didn't want to do it with concealer, because I always do the brows before I do the eye makeup, because I like to do the brow to space out how much space I have and how much space I have between the mobile lid and the upper lid. So I really enjoy doing that. But I can use this above the brow, and I use it in with a smudger brush, and it's not as harsh. Another one that I do like to use is this Cella. It is the Ivory Lace Highlighter Crayon, and this is something like the NYX. It's a little bit more peachy, there we go. It's a little bit more yellow, but can be worked on a peachy skin tone. And this I can use in the eye. I could use it above the eyebrow. It really helps to shape the eyebrow. That way you get a lot of definition on the sole to the eyes, which I really enjoy. For holding the brows in place, I have a couple products. My number one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the clear gel pomade. I will take this, I will use a disposable brush, dip it in, make sure everything stays almost like, it works almost like a soap brush. Now, I don't use soap on my clientele, which you can, it's phenomenal, but this brushes it up, and it's like hairspray for the brows. If I want a little more tint in the brows, or there's a little bit more sparseness, I will go in with the Gimme Brow by Benefits, and I normally tend to grab the small ones because I feel like the bigger ones dry out a little bit quicker for me, because I don't use them on every client. So again, I will take a disposable spoolie, dip it in, and really brush those brows and really give them a nice tone for their skin tone, or for whatever their makeup is going to be, and their hair color. So everything really has to be in symmetry. So I want everything to be nice and symmetric. I don't want anything to stand out unless that's what maybe the photographer, maybe if we have a morning meeting, maybe if there's something that they're really trying to focus on, then I go ahead and I can, you know, up my game as far as, you know, what colors I can use on the brow and what they're looking for. And that pretty much handles my brows. Coffee break. All right, and this is where we, oh, let me put this back in here. All right, so after the face is done and the powder has settled, I really want to go into the eyes. So what I'll do is I'll go into the other kit where I showed you where my eyeshadows were and my brushes, and I'll go ahead and I'll do an eye look. And then upon that eye look, I will turn around and I will use mascara or an eyeliner or whatever situation I need to convey at that point. So if I go in here, I have a bunch of different things. So my pencil sharpener is a must because you always have to sharpen your pencil after each client so you don't disinfect them with alcohol. I have a few tools in here. So this is to put on lashes. I tend to use my gold tweezers for that. I find that I get a more precise application with that. But here are my tweezers. Of course, you want to crimp the eyelashes. I think that's, everybody knows that. Sometimes I'll have my client crimp their eyelashes, or sometimes I will do it myself. A trick that I have is to have my client look down, and I put it over their eye. I open the eye until all the lashes are in view, and then I can crimp. Okay? And that just helps making sure that every lash gets in there, and then it gets sanitized obviously after I use it. I do have a second one in here, which is brand new, and you can always tell if makeup is dirty or not by the inside. This one's a brand new one. I haven't used it yet. And then this crimper is for false lashes. So what it does is it actually meets the false lashes with your regular lashes and crimps them all down so it looks like you have one lash. What are you doing? Can you say hi? I have the window open, so she's a little curious. Okay, the other thing that I bring that helps with the tools is, especially with the crimper, I have extra spare pieces for the crimper. So if I have to use it on a different client, I take this off, I go and I put it in the waste basket or the sanitation basket, and I put another one of these on. That way nobody's eye is touching another eye. I'm very big on sanitation. And then I also have these that I bring, and these are for the inside of, these are for the inside of the eyelash crimpers. So I always put a new one on per each client. That way, when I go to crimp the eyelash, it's not, you don't have any DNA from the person before you. And then these can all get sanitized, dried, and then we can put them back away and use them for the next week or the next day, or, you know, when I have clients again. Oh, let's leave these out while I get my... Now, these are the color of eyelashes. These are the color of eyeliners that I use. I don't use all of them. I tend to overpack with my eyeliners because I like to have options. So I'll go with my liquids first, which is the MAC Black Tracks Liquid Eyeliner. This one is a favorite of mine if I'm gonna do a winged eyeliner or if I just want something at the base. This one is nice because when it sets, it doesn't move. Another cheaper alternative that you can have, which I find is just as good, is the Maybelline Eye Studio. It dries out a little bit more, but it still gives you a really nice precise wing when it comes to doing a cat eye or an eye to hide the lashes. I carry a couple different mascaras with me. Obviously the wands are not used on each person. We use a disposable wand, but the ones that I like the best are these, well, are really these three. Now this is the Tarte, what is it, Lash Paint Mascara, and I really like this. I don't like it on my lashes only because I think the applicator is a little bit spiky, but I do like the formula, so I will keep this in here. Another one that I use is the DV Perfect Coating Longer Lasting for Eyelash Extensions. A lot of clients that come in do have eyelash extensions and you really don't want to put mascara on them, so I always carry a non-mascara lash. And what this is, it's just like brow gel. It's hairspray for the lashes, and it coats the lashes, it individualizes them, and it makes them stay all day, especially when you curl them, and then you can play with it and really get, you know, what mascara will do. Another favorite of mine, which has been a favorite of mine forever, is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. I will use this if I am on a photo shoot. I will not use this on a wedding. I find that because this is not the waterproof one, it tends to flake or it tends to run. So if you're going to use this, I would use it on a photo shoot where you're not going to have a lot of crying. But I really do like the volume and the individual lash that it can bring. I also have the It Tightline. Now this is one of my favorites too. It has a little itty bitty wand on it, and this is for your lower lashes. So instead of a fan brush, especially when using a mascara that you don't know if it's gonna run, I do tend to like to use this on the lower lash line because I find that when it sets, it doesn't go anywhere. So I like that one too. Now I need to clean these out because I definitely don't need this many eyeliners. And if I do use an eyeliner, I generally do use my Black Tracks from MAC because once it sets, it sets. But I'll go through these real quick. This is the Makeup Forever Professional in number 132. This is a really, really nice green. So if you have somebody with green eyes like myself, green or blue eyes, just putting this on, it in the lower lash line or in the corners, it just makes everything pop. It just makes the green look so green. And paired with maybe a peach eyeshadow or something a little warmer, it makes everything pop. This is a Sorbet Treatment Cosmetics Smear Proof Eyeliner. So this again, it's another blue. I don't tentatively grab that. This is a Hikari. This is a no budge waterliner. So if I need to go into the waterline, this is a great one because when it sets, it sets. I don't have to worry about it running. This one is another one from Laura Geller. This is a teal, which is this one. And you know, a lot of times with eyeliners, if you don't have maybe an eyeshadow, you can always go and rim above the eye and smudge it out, and it looks just as good. You could do a wing, or you can line the whole eye and smudge it out and look like that you have a really, really beautiful, bright, vibrant teal eyeshadow. So I definitely tend to carry a lot of greens. This is another one. This is the Stroke of Genius Heavy Duty Kohl in Green Light from Sugar Cosmetics. This is the Unique one. Unique. Again, another green. This one's a little bit more of a forest green. Jonte Blue. Another blue. This one's a little bit crumbly, so I don't so I don't tend to use this that often, but I do still carry it in my kit. I do have another Laura Geller purple. Let's go through that. I have a Laura Geller blue. I have a vintage by Jessica Ebekind, and this is a really nice one because it's a non-tear, and I really like that to maybe do the upper waterline. This is a Peel Cosmetics. This is a gel liner, and this is in brown. Browns are so underrated because you can, if you have somebody that is light skinned, you definitely, a lot of times I don't tend to go in with black eyeliner because I think it's a little too harsh. Here's another Cargo. This is swimmable. This is waterproof. And this is another brown. I definitely have to go through this box. This is Rich Experience from MAC. So another MAC eyeliner, and I really, really like this one. It's this one right here. I like this one when you don't have, when you have a light-skinned woman and black is just too harsh. I really, really do like the browns. This is my favorite. This is the Pillow Talk eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury. This is, let me see, I'll do it on my arm. This is absolutely beautiful. It is not a red, it is not a brown, it is not a brick. It's just this beautiful color that you can smudge out or make it tight, and it just opens the eyes. This is another Appeal gel liner. It's a lighter brown. This is more of a copper, so if you have somebody with blue eyes that really, really wants that copper look, this is it right here. I have used this on my upper and lower waterline, and it just makes blue eyes pop. We have a purple. We have another purple. We have an olive pearl, which is, again, beautiful. Beautiful on dark skin. If you have a light dark skin, this is beautiful. And then we have an IT Cosmetics No Tug Gel Eyeliner. I think this has bit the dust, so we're gonna put this aside. And then we have a Trustique. I love putting this all over my lid. Let's see. And it's just a beautiful green. It's a beautiful olive green. And when I'm doing a smoky eye, it just helps bring everything together. All right, let me get this off my, let me get these off my arm. Okay. So the next, okay. So the next bin we're gonna go to is contouring, which is here. I don't keep a lot of contouring. I mainly deal with palettes, but I do have a few favorites. My first favorite is the Lorac Pro, the contour. I love these colors. I deal mostly with these colors. You can see I've hit pan on one of them. This is a really good contour palette. I also like the Kat Von D. It has 1, 2, 3 different colors, plus one of these colors up here if I feel like the under eye is getting too dull. I really like those as well. The Natasha Denona Glow, I like after a contour, if somebody needs a little sheen or a little shimmer or something to bring them back to life. It's more of a bronzer. I will use that. I love my Tarte Park Avenue Princess. This one is almost done as well. I got another one coming in the mail. This for light skin tones is really, really beautiful. It just has that perfect combination of cool and warm in it. I do like that. You can see it's almost done. And then my favorite is the Dallas by Benefit. It has a little reflect in it. But I do like it for warming up the skin tone, and it just gives the skin a healthy glow. So those are the contour palettes that I use. And then we'll go down to blushes. Now these are my blushes. Again, you'll see a lot of Charlotte Tilbury, and we'll go through those in a minute. Let me get you the palettes that I have. Now, I think blush is very personal. I think a lot of people have different undertones, and different blushes work on a lot of different people. So I do tend to carry a lot of blushes, a lot of blushes. Okay. So the first one I'm going to go through is the Real Her. This is the Be Fearless, Be Limitless blush kit. And as you can see, I am using this quite a lot. This is really great for dark skin tones, especially this center shade right here. It really makes dark skin tones pop. You can see the color on their skin. It gives them a beautiful flush. It is amazing. This one I've used a couple times. This is the Olimar Cosmetics. So if I pop this open, it has a lot of different shades that I don't necessarily find in a blush compact, especially this orange. And these reds are also great for darker skin tones. I really do like the shade range in this. And then this is just, you know, it doesn't really show up, but it definitely gives some depth and some brightness. None of them have really a shimmer to them, so they're a little bit more flat, and it definitely mimics the natural flush of the face if you can get the skin tone and the pigment correct. I definitely carry this Cargo. I really love the color. It's almost like a baby pink. It is waterproof and sweat proof. So if I am working on a client that's going to be outside all day, especially a light skinned client, I will use this. And it is just a really, really pretty color to put on the cheeks. And you know, I have used this quite a few times. As far as liquid blushes go, I have two. I definitely carry the NARS, the Liquid Orgasm. The Orgasm is a cult classic. I have it in my personal kit in the full size, but it is just a beautiful color on any skin tone, and it just has that reflex where you look like you are a healthy human being. So I really like this. It definitely gives off a little bit of sheen. You want to use it super sparingly. That was a lot to put on the back of my hand, but if you use it super sparingly underneath powder after foundation, if you use a stippling brush, it works beautifully under the skin, and then you can usually put more blush on top of it if you find that this isn't doing the entire trick that you want. Let me wash that off. But again, that is a beautiful one to carry on you. The other one I like to carry on me is this Wander Beauty On The Glow blush, and it has two sides on it. It has a coral rose, which again is beautiful, and then it also has a highlighter side, so you can actually highlight and underneath powder, highlight and do a little blush. I would definitely use a brush and pounce it on. I definitely wouldn't go in with a stick because you might have oversaturation. And yeah, the new glow and the coral rose, I really like these, and I use these under on top of foundation but under the powder. So if I need anything else or more realistic flush, I'll go in with my other products here. I will definitely carry around my Hourglass. This is the Diffused Heat. This can really work on anybody. It doesn't have that much of a pigment, but it definitely gives you this. If you know Hourglass, you know about the ambient light and how much it works underneath the skin tone just to give you that really, really beautiful flush. So I always carry this around in my kits. And sometimes I'll use this before I use another blush, just because I just really like the way blush lays on top of this. This I have had for centuries. It is from Your Name or My Name Cosmetics. I got it when I was, God, working in my first salon, and I'm so sparingly to use it, but it almost reminds me of the NARS Orgasm, just in a different peachy tint, and it goes along with a lot of different skin tones. I use it sparingly because I don't think I can get it again. It's discontinued. So I really like this blush. When I need it, I will definitely keep it in my kit. And then I have Miss Charlotte Tilbury, and these are the brushes that I really go to the most. Let's see. This one it's light, and this is the Cheek to Cheek Swish and Pop blusher in First Love. So I haven't been really using this that often, but it definitely, if you need a little life to the skin, or you need some like a little oil seeped in, evened out, this I find is a really good product. This one is my absolute favorite. I use this on 99% of my clients, and this is the Pillow Talk Cheek to Chic Swish and Glow Blusher. And like I said, I use this on almost every one of my clients. This is one of my favorites. I will continue to purchase these. It is just that beautiful. And then I have the Love Glow, which is a little bit more pinky, with a sheer center, and I use this just when I need to get a little color back into the skin. Maybe if we use the MAC Studio Fix, I really like to put color back into the skin, which is close to their natural undertone, so I really like to use this as well. And getting to the bottom here, nope, let's go to this bottom first. This is my highlighter palettes. So I have a couple of Hour Glows in here. So this is the Diffused Light, and it's white, but it gives the shine, not a glow, but almost a lit from within. So if I'm using maybe a heavier foundation and a heavier concealer, I will set it with this, and this will give it an all over glow. Not a glow, but an all over sheen. It looks like that you're radiating from within. So I really do like this. This is the Diffused Light ambient lighting powder. Then I have the incandescent strobe light from Hourglass as well. This is a really, really beautiful soft highlight. Well, it doesn't look soft on my finger, but it is a nice soft highlight. So if you don't want anything too blinding, this is the way to go. I love this one as well. MAC, of course, soft and gentle, a cult favorite. Just gives you that natural glow from within without it being too rough or sparkly. It's just, you can see on my skin now, it's just beautiful, just to give you that little bit of dimension that you want without going overboard and without a flash really picking it up. It just looks like you have this internal healthy glow on you. And for my brides, 99% of the time I will use the soft and gentle, because you don't want them beaming from space. Now, if you want to beam from space, I have my Anastasia Glow Kits. You will see which one is my favorite. Oh, so this is my favorite down here. It is tourmaline, and this is just, I mean, the shine. Oh, I love this one. And when you put it on your skin, you can definitely tell the shine, and it just looks like the high points of the cheek. Sometimes I put it under the brow bone, your nose, your cupid's bow. It is just one of the I can't speak for the other ones. This one I absolutely love, so when I get rid of this one, I'll either have to buy the whole palette again or see if there's anything comparable to this one, because this one I really love. I have another couple in here that are just loose. This one's from Unique. It is a mineral pigment in Angelic. This one is Confidant, and this one is Smolder and Desert Nude. Now these I will use on the internal of the eye, so in the corner of the eye is where I'll use this, and it just gives that brightness. To make your eyes look more awake. So, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Confidant I will use on darker skin tones. It has a little bit of a deeper pigment. Now that I just spilled it all over the place. Has a little bit of a deeper pigment. But when you brush it out, it just gives a nice gold reflex for somebody that has maybe a gold undertone in their skin and they just want everything to brighten up a little bit. I love those. And my Smolder Cosmetic in Desert Nude. This is a really, really great one for the inner corners of the eye or on the high point of your cheekbone. And it's just enough. It's not so brightening where you're like, bam, like that's the first thing that you see. It's just giving you a little help, so maybe the camera picks up maybe a wider eye or, you know, a more defined cheekbone. That is definitely something that I love. So I put this back in there. And then we get to lips. Now you saw up here, let me stretch it up. So up here is where I keep all my lipsticks. Now, depending on what color or what type of makeup that we're doing that day, it really depends on the lip. For brides, unless they're going for old school Hollywood, I will do a red lip, and I will use my Cherry MAC Cherry and Lasting Sensation, and then I will use a red lip. This one's a good one too. This one's from St. Lux. This is Crush. I always want to have a couple different red pigments on, because a lot of pigments can either be blue in lipstick can be blue pigments, a little more orange pigments, with an effort on red pigments. So, you know, there's all different pigments. So I like to carry at least 3 different reds lip liners, because you really want them to match the lipstick. You don't want to have maybe like an orange toned lip with like a really deep, you know, true blue red on you. So put that away. So this is my lip draw down here, and I will show you what I got. I like to work in palettes, so I go to MAC and I get the different palettes of lips, because to carry so many lipsticks, it's very difficult. It gets very heavy. My kit's very heavy to begin with. So this is what I use. So we'll go with the nude first. So this is my nude. This is the one that I use the most, obviously. It has Frau, Sis, Fleshpot, Honey Love, Yash, and Hug Me. And again, I use this the most because most often we want when I'm on a photo shoot, the client wants a little bit of a natural lip, because you want the makeup that they have really to shine and all to turn in. I also have the orange toned, and this is the Editorial Oranges. A Sandy B, Crosswires, Mornage, So Shod, Look at Her, and Bronze Shimmer. So I like this one as well. These are my pinks. These are Pretty Please, Please Me, Love Torn, Creme de la Femme, Slow Orchid, and Violetta. And then we go in for the reds. So the reds, we have Lady Danger, On Hold, Russian Red, MAC Red, Ruby Woo, and Dare You. And these are the most used reds, as you can see, in the palettes that I use. And you can see where I had a woman, a wedding, and she had a red lip, and I actually gave her a sample of the red because those are the most really to come off. So each client that I have gets a sample of the lipstick that they have. That way they can touch up during the day, which is a really great way to make sure that your client is fresh all day, unless they hire you to be there all day, which I've had that too. These are from my darker beauties. These are Twig, Captive, Verve, Amorous, Hang Up, and Cyber. And I love these two. These are great for dark skin tones. Now, on top of my lips, I have a ton of lipsticks downstairs, but I carry a couple with me because I always like to put put gloss or something shiny, especially if it's a matte lip. I try to get away from matte lips because I feel like there are a lot of drying on the skin, especially if you're going editorial, or if you're in the sun all day, or if you're in a wedding all day. So I have a bunch of gloss here. I have my floss, which is distributed by Floss Beauty, which is just a clear, which is beautiful. I have Iconic London if I want to make that ombre effect on the lip where it's darker on the outside and it has a little bit of sheen on the middle. This is a plumping lip gloss, so you just want to make sure you tell your client that it might tingle. It's not going to hurt, but it will give your lips a little plump, and it will give your lips a little fullness, which I really enjoy, especially for pictures. I have the MAC Cream Sheen Glass. What color are you? In Partial to Pink, and this can go on top of any color. I kind of sheer it out, but it's also nice to have the look of a little bit of wetness on the lip because it makes it, again, a little more plumper, a little more juicier. Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, of course, it is one of the favorites. If you do not have Pillow Talk, you should really get it. It is a beautiful color. I have not found a skin tone where I cannot use Pillow Talk, so it's one of my most favorite lips. And here is the Pillow Talk lipstick in the bullets, and it is just it's just a beautiful it's just a beautiful, cool but warm nude. And I really love this. You just want to make sure, because this is matte, that you want to pair it with a gloss. At least that's my take on it. Here we go. We see Cease Sheer, and this is a color that just came out, I believe, in their spring line. And I really enjoy this too because it's not too pink, but it's not too peachy, but it has a little blue in it. I really like this as well. For gloss, we have the Sweet Peach Creamy Peach Lip Oil Lip Gloss. I like this gloss because of the coverage that it has. So you can see it's not just a regular gloss, it has pigment in it, which goes beautiful. And then, oh, my foot falls asleep. Okay, and then I have both Fenty Beauties. I have the Diamond Milk, and I have the Fenty Glow, and I like these two as well. You could top them on anything. They smell like raspberry jello, which I really like. And I'll also give the clients a sample of the gloss and a sample of the lips. That way, you know, during the day when they're kissing people or people are congratulating them, their lips don't feel dry. All right, let's get this. And then at the end of the day, when everything is all set and everybody has their makeup done, I go in my front pouch and I have these cards made up. Now, I have lip glosses made for the bridesmaids or anybody that's getting their makeup done from me. It has my name on it. It has my phone number on it. It has my website on it. That way, you know, if they need anything else, they can give me a call. They have my business card in it as well that they get to take home. And then I also give them the skincare that I've used on them because it is a probiotic skincare line. I really swear by this stuff. It has really changed the way my face looks and feels. So I give them her card and the products that I've used on their skin. That way, if they do enjoy it or if they do enjoy the way it feels, they can go ahead and purchase it for themselves. So I keep that in the front pocket. And then within that little sachet, I also put in the sample of the lipstick or the lip gloss that they were using for today, and any touch-up. Sometimes if I have blotting powder, I will put a couple sheets of blotting powder in there, just in case it's a hot summer day and they really need to cool off. But yeah. So this zips up like this, and this comes down. And that is my conclusion on my Shanty kit. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry it was so long, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.